I sit down, right, right. What goes on, brethren? You know what I mean? What go? Let's get. You know what I mean? What goes on? You know what I mean? You know what goes on? You see what I'm saying?
I think this is it's a family show, really. So I don't think I can really go into that kind of.
No. But there's got to be some kind of. I'm using the word romance, or you got to say some things, or
Not
something
really.
nice.
How would you approach a young lady if you're in a room? There's someone in there that you fancy. How would you approach her?
So could you I didn't hear all of that. Could you just
question is,
Can you say that again?
What would be your line, or what would be? I mean, would you say, darling, shall we go out, or will you say, I'll be going out for a meal. Let's go pictures. What is your approach?
It's just developing, as you say, like they say, like soulmates, or so it's developing. I think, as you say, it's more relationship. And relationship is when you can relay information about. Relay means to give information across as it happens. So basically, you can give information like the person's character. You can develop the person's character. It is to achieve things. Because basically, love is about spending. Big car. Big romance, flowers, where basically it's about creativity. That's what we want to create. Can we get together? As Dougie says, love is like a business. So how can we create together and create our own wealth within?
Hold on, Bridget. Hold on.
Why do you want to create your wealth within?
Even though I said love is relationship is a business, right? But part of that business journey that, you're going to say things to entice that person together. For example, right? When I was met my potential queen, right? One of the things I said, let's go to a movie, right? We'd like to come to a movie where we enjoy each other company, put a hand around her, just feel nice, and then as things start to feel comfortable with each other, we start to kiss and all the yes, I'm going this thing here, you know what I mean? I'm just a bit confused what
I'll let you know, right? Let me tell you exactly my tactics, right? There's a thing about that.
Bridge, we're not talking about tactics. We're not talking about tactics, but because don't forget, you say you don't believe in romance and love and them thing there.
I'll tell you my tactics. When I'm in the, what I'll do, I'll wear a white shirt, and then I'll pick up all the victims who will cry. They'll be I'm their shoulder to cry on when all the love dream crashes.
All right, I don't know where we're going. Come true.
I don't think you gave him a chance, because he said something important, Dougie, which is what we talk about all the time: self-development. That's what my man was alluding to, and I think that's very important. Self-development.
No. We wasn't talking about self-development.
He mentions he's going. I think now he can't take the heat.
No, we wasn't talking about self-development.
No, my man was. He mentioned that, Dougie.
What's the question? All right, what's the question Supreme asks?
He said, "What do you do to?" No, hold on. Let me say from my perspective. I used to date a sister, and she had bad diet. She was emotionally all over the place, and she was mentally weak. I strengthened the mind, encouraged her to think positive. That improved her emotional state, and I encouraged her to eat well, like more of a Rasta diet. And then 2 years down the line, she said to me, "You don't buy me any presents." And I said, "But what about all the work I've done to encourage you to become a stronger, better person? Do you really need presents, or would you rather just..." And she goes, "You know what, you're right, thank you, I love you," and all that. And that's what I think my mum was alluding to. It's about, we're going to encourage the person to become a better person. That's what I've got to offer. That's what I was thinking. And I just think, that's why I say, I've never bought the sister a present, but we've gone on like a house on fire, because I was always encouraging her to be the best person.
No, but listen,
that's
I
love.
think, we need to listen to what we're saying. Supreme, right, said to Jammers that he does not build.
Even love,
being with love and romance and so forth, right?
Jammer said that,
right?
Yeah.
Supreme asked the question.
Yeah.
Right. So the what we need to establish here, right? What is it? Why is it he doesn't believe in love or romance? You know what I mean? Because the question is that when you're with your potential partner, right? There has to be some kind of romance or. Huh? I think so.
Has to be romantic.
I feel so. I feel so. That, based on there has to be some kind of romance or caring or embrace. There got to be something there. You know what I mean? So we got to talk about self-development. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, what it is, yeah, if you hear most women, especially the modern women, most of them say they don't want a waste man. But what is romance? You waste your money on a, you waste it, you waste it.
No.
Jammers, yeah. Jammers, all you've done is just discredited everything we've said, but we're asking you, what is your version of, we won't use those words, but what is your version of how you're going to progress with somebody of the opposite? How are you going to do it? How do you do it? After that you've discredited everything we've said, just answer us.
I think you're being a bit harsh now. I didn't discredit everything. There was 5% that I did agree with. Well, I'll say, well, okay, there we go. Most people, when they look at a partner, because we've been programmed, we're looking at a physical, yeah? Instead of looking at what kind of future is this person going to have, how is this person going to bring up my potential child? We're looking at how fast we can get, we can lie to this person to get them into bed. So let's be frank now. Love is a fantasy. You're putting on an appearance. You're putting on your best. You're not putting on how you normally look for 9 to 5. You're putting on your best clothes. You're putting on your best personality. You're putting your best. It's a lie. Love is a lie. So that, how can you take that on board? Who's that lie? How can you go by that when you're looking at this person? Can this person cook? Can this person bring up my child? See, it's a dream. We need to get out of this fantasy. So basically, that's what we need to do. Stop being a waste man or waste woman and wasting our money. Let's put our money together, build an industry, learn to be self-sufficient, learn to develop our creativity. And true creativity is when you don't need to spend money. You have it within your relationship.
Okay. I got Grace. I got Grace on the line. Grace, do you want to respond? And then we will.
I was allowing Jammers to explain, because seeing as he dogged everybody, I just thought, well, I need to hear from the man so that we can have a better understanding, because we know that we generally live under an illusion, but we create whatever illusion we want to create ourselves. So if it is that for each individual, as I say, in relationships, you can talk about, and he rightly said, everybody, when they first meet with somebody, will give you this outwardly appearance until you get to know them and you spend more time with each other. Because
but that's not really the question. That's not really the question. Supreme was bringing to the table still, with all respect. Supreme did say that. What does he do when you meet someone? That's the question, is right. That's the question we need to establish. Do we just? I'm a bit confused, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And so forth.
Well, I'll break it down.
That's why Jammers cannot just leave it just like that. He has to explain it, because at the end of the day, it's a radio thing. Just to leave it out there with lack of understanding, I'm sorry. So he would need to really answer that. Answer that truthfully, because of people who are listening, so that we can, or those who don't understand, can have a better understanding.
I'll put it in an analogy of a car, clothes, basically a car. If you're going to get a car, you want to check the car first before, if you want to get to a destination. You've got to check the car, you've got to check what the car's like, and maybe if you're lucky, take it for a test drive. So, on an analogy of meeting a person, just like when you're taking your clothes, anything that we do in life, we check first before we want to check how long it lasts for. And you check how long it lasts for. It's not by excessive expenditure. It's like you give the person, you analyze, you give the person a grilling, you find out their personality, and then you've got to take them to your philosophy or your viewpoints. You know, you've got to show, well, as I see, romance is a fraud because it's just wasting money. Most other races are conserving their resources to build a future for the next generation. So they do not, the Chinese man doesn't come in our shop to spend money. The Jewish man doesn't come in our shop to spend money. The Western man doesn't come in our community and spend their money. So every society, even every species of animal, is about self-preservation, self-reliance, self-development. And this fantasy that we're on is we're spending our money. If we check what we're doing on Valentine's Day, we're spending, they're gaining financially through this love that they put us in. How many books on love advice do we buy? How many movies do we buy? How many specialists do we see to try and make this fantasy a reality? So when I can come to a potential partner or just general, if I can explain myself in this adequate manner, and I'm sure I'll be able to convince them that all the harm and destruction, psychological, mental trauma that's been caused by love, then this is a better way forward for us. Self-maintenance.
Okay then. All right then. So, if I can, just trying to put one or two pieces together. So what you're saying, Jam, is that in terms of romance, because you don't really do romance, right? It's not something you will because obviously you wouldn't buy them any kind of gifts or whatever, or to make them feel. Because you see, I think what I'm trying to establish here, that women are wired up differently, and they do need that emotional connection where they feel nice and if you like it or not, and what's established here that you're not really into that. You see what I'm saying? And your approach will be totally that you will talk to them about that this shouldn't be happening. This you should be doing this. That. So it's a bit wobbly over the place.
Well, what I do, I'll give women more credit than that. I'll show that. I mean, they've been the leaders of our society. They've been at the forefront of our development, especially in ancient Kemet. So I'm just trying to break them out of the spell as this fantasy where, a dead plant, they're impressed by a dead plant rather than a man who's got a plan.
No, we're not talking about fantasy, Let's forget the fantasy. We're not talking about fantasy, we're not talking about fantasy.
A plant can't get you in. A dead plant? Really? A piece of stone?
No, we're not talking
really?
Hold on. We're not talking about fantasy, This, let's move fantasy out, right? Question what Supreme asks you, right? How would you embrace a sister? You know what I mean? That is the question, really. But I think you said that, you wouldn't, and you would just talk to her with personal development and this and that and whatever. You throw that on the table.
And I think after the trauma of the romance, they will be persuaded by my, higher psychological and physical analysis of their with a repertoire of energy.
Okay then.
I think women will be open to. Women are open to a new way. This is what women have been crying for, actually, a new way.
No. Hold on. So if you go to a dance, right? With your queen, right? Well, I don't consider you a queen at all. You know what I mean? But if you go to a party, right? With your potential partner, right? As a nice record come on, right? A nice love rock record come on, right? Question is, would you dance with her?
So I'll probably be outside reading poetry, Not really, actually, not poetry, but Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey.
No.
Marcus Garvey.
Would if a nice record come on, would you dance with her?
Of course.
All right. And therefore, if you dance with her, there's a kind of a rhythm when you're dancing, yeah?
I think we're getting a bit personal now.
No. Just work with me, man. Just work.
Yeah,
just
cool.
Work
Yeah.
with me. There's a rhythm there, right? The dance is about rhythm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if the vibes lick you, you will say some nice things. You say some nice things to you. So you want to say in the dancing, you say, well, you talk about if the most young words in her ears or whatever. You will say some nice. You see what I'm saying? Some nice things. vice versa. You see what I'm saying here? So there's a rhythm of emotion, rhythm of niceness, etc. Was it a natural, organic way of?
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't be chatting no foolishness. That's what I'm saying. You know, I wouldn't be chatting no foolishness.
What you were saying?
Well, as I said, it's a creative element, so I'll be chatting about the vibrations and how the chemicals react in a certain way,
right.
which would be higher
Right.
science. I wouldn't be talking
Right.
about, you know,
But you
your
were sa-
eyes are
hold on,
like
but you were
roses
sa-
red
you-
in a green
yeah, but-
wine field.
Yeah,
Your
but-
lips are, you
Yeah,
know.
but you were saying some nice things to her, innit?
Well, science. I mean, hopefully we'll be teaching each other on a higher level. You know, not saying this stupidness. You know.
All right. Supreme, you want to come in there, Supreme?
I'm just slightly baffled, right? But I just want to know. I'm quite. Well, let's get back to basics. The first time you meet someone, Jammers, that first 5 to 10 minutes is your impression. So my point, technically, to you, is if you're gonna go in that heavy with this can I say, conspiracy and fear, that will just frighten someone off away. To me personally, I wouldn't think on the first time that you met someone, the impression that you make is from the first time you met will move you on to the next stage. Yeah. Now I'm just making some notes here, and this is just me. What I found out in a little research I'd done, that more people are now looking at their social circle where they meet a potential partner. Number one in that circle is the workplace, which I found odd. But yeah, the workplace. Yeah, but I thought at work is where people are now finding their potential partners. But you've also got the church. People go to conventions. People go to seminars. You might be on travel. You might have a long distance relationship. You got your friends may introduce you to someone if they think that you and this other person are compatible. Could be from college. You might even meet someone on the street. Now, someone like you talking to someone on the street, you might frighten them off, really, personally. But also we can say party. But parties, you know, I believe where we what was it, shape a relationship in the first impression is those in your social circles. So
Yeah, that's the problem, because in everything.
We've still got Grace on the line there. So,
Oh, would you like to come in, Grace?
Grace, you want to say anything, Grace, and then?
Me, I was just gonna let Brother Supreme finish, and then I was gonna leave you all to finish doing your reasoning. But
So, okay, what have you got to say about my standpoint? What have you got to say about my standpoint? Was you impressed?
would I be impressed if I was in a dance and you start telling me about not numerology,
Etymology.
etymology? Now, I would, to be honest, it depends, and it really depends on the type of woman and her mindset, because I would be impressed with etymology, but then I would sort of think, all right, well, take etymology away. Is there other things that you do that would interest me? That's what I'd need to find out. And as I say, with relationships, there are different things that attract us to people. But first and foremost, as we already know, men are attracted to women by their physical attributes that they have, and women are attracted to men depending on the first few words that come out of their mouth. Some of them can say some stupidness, and you just got to watch them from head to foot and think, child.
That's sorry to cut in here.
And,
Sorry
and
to.
others, they can say a few words and you're intrigued and you want to know. Well, I would like to know a little bit more about him. But then we have to move on from the physical and the lower self of us as human beings that we mainly concentrate on, and go to the more higher conscious level of ourselves and being. Because seriously, we are thinking about having a constructive or a relationship that is sustainable, that we can build our future on. So when we think about marriages that are organized, I can't remember what it's called, Minty, when you organize a wedding, the parents organize the wedding, they call it
Arranged marriage?
arranged marriages. when we think about arranged marriages, what they take into consideration, just from my understanding, and I can stand corrected, which I'm sure you lot will do anyway, is that they take into the account maybe the time the person's born of both couples, what each of them are going to bring to the table for themselves and to the family. And afterwards, they will grow to love each other because of an understanding in which they have. And that's where we talk about going for the higher level of the person and not thinking about the lower level where most people are continuously thinking of where they are. Whereas, you know, I have my bills and this to pay, but yeah, I'd like to get in between there, and I'd like her to spend the night with me and all the rest of it. That is just basic thinking. But if we're thinking realistically, futuristically, we have to be thinking on a higher level as to what each and every one of us are going to bring to our relationship and how we can work on developing our relationships that can be more sustainable, because that's what the Indians do. That's what some of the Africans still do. They still do have their input of the heads taking a decision as to this person coming into the family. What are they bringing? What are they offering into the family? And not forgetting that we used to have dowries. I think it's called dowries, or you exchange cows or money for that person, whether you be in India or Africa or wherever. So it's the exchange of different things that the families bring and give to each other. That's important, and then they produce their children. But their foremost isn't, oh well, you know, what's your thoughts or what's your thing. What is taken into account is the time you were born and if you're compatible with my child or not, and how wealthy is that family, or if that person comes in the family, there is potential for him to be able to develop and set up a business, or he's business minded but he hasn't quite got the money to do it, but we can work with him because he's going to bring something into the family. And that's where we need to be, you know, focusing it on and looking at. Yeah?
Okay, then that's quite Jamis or Supreme, you want to respond to what's been said? Jamis, you the mic.
Well, yeah, some of the points I agree with, but also I think it highlights really what was still on my side, that love and romance is the biggest failure rates ever. You know, the biggest divorces, as I said, it's organized failure. Statistics show that most people break up with due to this love business. And another thing is, through the fantasy of love, they're not looking for a long-term commitment. Some are just looking for a bed for the night. But through the haircut or the style that they put over, you know, you people get all dreamy-eyed, and then they get an image, the wrong image in their mind based on this. What Supreme said, first impression, and this is first.
Well, I don't know where we're going this thing here, because when you say that love is the first failure, I'm very confused. I mean, how do people come together first in the first place? It's got to be through some kind of love and romance. You know, it's got to be a physical attraction. What means to establish first, yeah.
Yeah, the physical.
Let's speak, because you know my head's going over the place a little bit, right? It's got to be some kind of physical attraction, right? Am I right saying that, Supreme? Yeah. It's got to be some physical attraction, right? With that physical attraction, there's some kind of chemistry, yeah? There's chemistry, there's some kind of chemistry going on, right? And then you're gonna fall for each other. We don't want to use the word love, but there's some kind of reaction going on, and then, you know, things gonna happen. You know, so you can't deny love. You know, we don't use the word love, but it's part of the vehicle what drives people together. You see what I'm saying? So without that, you know, as people come together, you see my point, though.
Well, I said it used to be, but the physical attraction, is it really physical, or is it money? Because basically, if someone's come from a rich family, they suddenly become very attractive. If they got artificial chest, you know, artificial nose, you know, big car. Is it physical or is it money that is the attraction?
No. It is a physical attraction.
Really?
Right?
Kim
There is motive.
Kardashian?
No, money plays a motive. Yeah, but it's a physical as a physical attraction. Me and Minty's sort of a beautiful sister on the street today, right? Beautiful queen, right? Dressed in her royals and everything. Physically, she looked physically attractive, you know. And she came up to us. We had a little chat and everything. Simple as that, you know what I mean? And there's more women out there, you know what I mean? And women find certain men physically attractive. Is that physical? You know, yes, there is a hidden agenda as well. You know, we can't argue about that. But you know, people come together with a physical attraction. You know, nobody can argue with that. You see what I'm saying? You know, with that physical attraction, there is that kind of chemistry where you fall for that person and you love them in that kind of crazy way, or whatever the case may be. You know, but there is a chemistry there, but you just can't deny that. You can't deny that. And to say on big radio that it's a big, I mean, it's like saying to me, boy, brethren, you have a car, you know, but those are good. You know, in the car there's an engine, but there's no engine in the car, or something like that. You tell people, you know, where, you know, Supreme, you want to come in? Oh, you want to finish up?
Yeah, well, as I said, yeah, there's physical essence, but basically, I said nowadays, if you really check how people are looking, it's all by money. It's based like they're wearing artificial breasts, plastic chests, you know, they're wearing an artificial nose. They've got injected butts, you know, they got the big car. So it's not, even if you look, and as I said, if you look at this, nothing based on culture, based on maintenance, especially if you look at our young people who they're selecting for partners now, it's nothing, there's nothing to do with culture anymore. Most people are going for the Western person because that's the image that would be, this illusion of what a person looks like now is artificially being created. You know, it's based on money and it's based on illusion. And another thing is a lot of relationships, as I said, people are not looking for the long term. They're looking maybe for the bed for the night. You know, so we have to move past you would never you never take the food on first image. You never buy your clothes on first image. You never take a car on first. So you're going to select somebody who's going to possibly produce your offspring based on first image. That's that.
No.
It beggars belief to me.
It'd be interesting to do a survey and ask some of the women and men out there, right? What was the first impression when they met that person there, you know? And I can put a bet on it that it was the physical attraction. Whether they might look upon and say, well, boy, she look kind of nice, I wouldn't mind doing a thing. But is that kind of physical attraction? Somebody just find it very physical and then, you know, but that brought them together in the first place. Supreme, do you come in, Supreme?
No, I just wanted to ask Jammers a question, but he's left the room.
Yeah,
so yeah. Well, anyway, we're gonna say good morning to everybody who's locked this way. My name's Supreme. We've got Brother Minty here, hosting the show. Of course, Find Your Voice. Brother Dougie. We also got Brother Jammers in the studio, the etymologist, and word is on the phone line. We've still got Grace, have we?
Grace, you still there?
Okay. Jammers has just left the room, but I wanted to ask him a particular question that probably will be quite personal. But we're here on air, and it was one of these questions, you know, that I think that it's just bugging me to ask him.
Before you ask him, can I just say that I really love what Jammers is saying. I don't know, maybe it's because it's good radio that we've got someone saying something controversial, but I think
what's good about what Jammers saying though?
Well, Doug, you remember you said, and even Grace has alluded to it, kind of sort of half agreeing with Jammers. You said, and I remember, and I agree with you, by the way, Dougie. A relationship is like a business, man. We should approach it like you know what? It should bang. It was
you should look at the business, but I mean, part of the business there was a physical attraction where you
No,
want to do business with that person.
Do you remember, Dougie? Didn't we say we saw a beautiful sister today? She was physically gorgeous. She was. No, I know her. She's all our friends. We've known her. But of course, I've told her, man, I don't play, you know, like that. No, what I'm trying to say is that of course I've told her she's gorgeous, but she's not just a gorgeous looking woman. She's a beautiful person as well. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. And I think that's what my man's saying, is that we've got to get to know the person. It's not just the physical. Because that's how, you see, this is the thing. We know as black men, and Grace is a black woman, how many single mothers are there in the black community because the woman looked good, because the man looked good. But we didn't try and get to know the person. Back to what you were saying, King, back in the day, where you just run, you having good, oh, you look good, and that's what people confuse lust for love. It's not, and so my man's absolutely right. Get to know the person.
No, but no.
What question are you asking?
No. We're still not.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing with that. We're trying to find out where Jammers is gonna get at to get in a relationship.
No,
How does he's just discredited love, romance, he just discredited everything. And then he's come with this evasive conspiracy thing. So one of the...
And also, we have to be clear about, to get to meet someone, there is that physical attraction. Absolutely. There's that physical attraction. Then you have to go beyond the physical attraction and leave the person mind. You know what I mean?
The question,
no. He was saying that physical... He's talking about most people look at things with the motive is about money and what they have and so forth. It's what the brother said,
Okay, can I just say that there was a woman, she died, a blonde-haired woman, I can't remember. She married like a 90-year-old fella. Do you think she would have married him if he was poor? She wouldn't have. She only married him because of the money. So there is a truth to what Jammers is saying.
No. There is a
There is a truth to what Jammers is saying.
There is an agenda.
Definitely.
Right? There is an agenda. No question about it, right? Some people have an agenda, right? But most people who come together in a relationship, it comes down to the physical attraction. You know what I mean?
But not always, Dougie, because
I said most people who got involved in relationships.
Okay,
I agree. There is that kind of physical attraction.
No, I agree with that, Dougie, because we've mentioned about how much single mothers there are in the community, because it's mainly a physical thing. They're not. We're looking at each other. The black woman look good, the black man look good, and everybody just want to get together because it's. I'm going to let you come in now, John. It's being in lust, but I think this just observing the conversation. I'm just picking up the. Dougie and Supreme have got a specific idea of there's a certain pattern that you must go through to be in a... And I don't think there is, Dougie. I don't think there is. Haven't you ever just spoke to a random woman on the phone and she sounds great? You've never seen her, but you go, wow, you got a really great voice. I'd like to meet you. Haven't that ever happened?
No. All right, Supreme, you want to come in?
Yeah, I think we're
Dougie,
blurring.
Dougie.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna listen whilst you lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to come if you want to come back, Sister Grace. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Feel free. Free up yourself. Yeah. So Supreme, come.
No. I didn't want to be going round and round and round in circles with Jammers, right? Because Jammers is kind of twisting and twerking, and to me, that's me, right? That's to me. I want to know what's the time that when you're in the bedroom and you're with your missus or potential partner, what are you saying to her? You're not going to be talking about etymology and this, not right. We're talking about, I would call it love and romance, but you would be in the bedroom. What would you be doing? What would you be saying? Because I'm kind of lost with his whole concept of a relationship, because no. The point I'm trying to make is, every word or whatever we said, he has discredited everything. So I just want to know what is going. I just want to understand.
Well, I'm backed by statistics, because anything that's done with romance and love, it brings there's a casualty, So, in the bedroom, the talking done. It's a natural thing, just like every other species of animal.
But the thing is, I'm thinking that why this is what I'm trying to say. I just think that Jammers has got his own way, and I just think from Dougie and Supreme, they're saying that it's like a mindset, and it's got to be this one. I don't think it does, because I mean, when I was younger, we liked the ladies, and it wasn't just one way to get the women, Dougie. It was never that. That's just, and to be honest, as we get older, I really love what Jammers is saying. I'm gonna let you come in now, Jammers. I really like what Jammers is saying. I think, and then also Dougie, when you're in the bedroom, I don't do no talking. It's body talk me I deal with, We don't do no talking. We don't need to talk because we've done the talking to get into the bedroom. Unless we're just going like that. Oh, I don't know what you look like. We've done the talk. We don't need to do no more talking in the bedroom. We just to body talk me I deal with, So what I'm saying is that I really like what Jammers is saying. It's probably because it's controversial, but I really like it. I don't know. I think that his approach.
No. Hold on. You can't. No, man, Richard. You can't. No. You can't say to me, right? You can't say to me, you're in the bedroom, right? With your partner, right? You're in the bed, right? Say you're in the bedroom, yeah. You're chilling and everything, right? Right?
No chilling in the bedroom.
No, hold on. You're lying. You're there, right? You're there, right? And wait, you don't have no soft music you play?
Well, not always. It depends. It depends how vigorous we're being.
Get in the right mood. You know what I mean?
No
candlelight.
You know what, right,
No
Dougie?
candlelight.
Listen, that's a recent phenomenon.
No.
I'm answering your question, Dougie.
Yeah.
That's recent because I met a lady who liked candles, and I think, well, that's a nice touch. But it didn't need the candles before, though.
No.
We were still getting down with the candles.
No. But you see my point, though.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate the candles, though.
Because that's where we're going wrong now. Because this is where
Okay.
this is where Supreme was bringing back that. You see a thing about romance, and this is what the sister wants, that kind of romance where candles, music, and make them feel good, get in the right mood, and etc. That's all part of it, So you're not gonna talk about Black history and the philosophy of Kemet and stuff. You know what I mean?
You're not going to be talking at all, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No. But see, there's a process. There's a certain kind of organic process, and this is what Supreme is bringing to the table, right? Right. And to me, it's very, very important that we understand that process. You see what I'm saying? And that's why we ask Jammers now, right? What do you do when you're in the room, right? Or you're lying down with you. What can I talk? What I do? Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to what Supreme said in relation to the alpha male. If you believe that a woman wants candlelight and soft music in the bedroom, that's where you're going wrong. She wants the alpha male, the animal, to come out. So that's the difference. All this is a foolishness that once you start to, as the woman will take the alpha male, once he starts to do all the soft music and the love poetry, she's going to see that as a form of weakness, and then she's going to go and find the next man who's got the alpha male in them. Thank you.
No. Hey, Supreme, come in. Guys, we're not going very far.
You know what? I'm just, and this might sound weird. You know what pops into my head when you're talking? I think of Mike Tyson. No, I honestly think like Mike Tyson looked like that type of man when he's in the bedroom, there's no talking, right? And I think that's what got him arrested. When the woman came to his bedroom, I'm not talk. It's just physical.
But as I said, I do all my talking before, so there's no more question needed.
Can I just say that, just from experience, candles is a good touch, it is. Women do like it. But it's a combination of what Jammers is saying. Because if we're going to talk raw, it's late, we can talk raw. 90% of the women I know want it rough, man. Like my man's saying, maybe I'm talking out of turn, I apologise. And when I say no, when I say rough, I don't mean like Mike. I mean, they want it vigorous. They don't care if the candles are on or not, man. Or the music's soft. Doesn't matter about the music. They want it vigorous.
No.
So-
Hold on.
No,
No.
yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
I don't think you understand this thing, you know. Because no, what we're saying.
Well, I've
no,
got mine, so
what we're
obviously I
saying.
do.
What we're saying. They get into the mood, right? It's the candlelights and the music, and these. See, you probably don't want. You probably don't. You don't do that, right?
Dougie, you know
But-
what, right?
Yep. What?
Okay, let's be honest now, man. It's the meal that works great.
What
And then, Dougie, the talk, the nice talk. That's what I'm trying to say. And then once you've got to that, you don't need no candles in the bedroom, and that's what Jammers is saying, and I agree with him because, listen, here's the thing,
No,
Dougie. Here's the thing.
No, Jam just saying that there's no romance, nothing like
No,
that
but
at all.
there's-
But what we're saying that there has, well, I'm not saying there have to be, but we look at it the appropriate way to move on this, right? There has to be some kind of romance where you're saying certain things, put people in
But
the
it
right
doesn't
mood.
though, Dougie. You know what you have to do? Just have chemistry. That's why I said right at the beginning.
So how does chemistry come about then?
But chemistry can come about anyway, man. You
No,
can
no,
do,
always
you can,
chemistry
you
come
can like
about.
watch, you like watching the sun. It can come like that. It can come through you holding hands. It can come through you like drinking water.
So there's some kind of chemistry then.
No, of course,
Yeah,
Dougie.
you see
of
what I'm
course,
saying?
man. But don't forget.
Yeah.
Don't forget though, Dougie. Some man will want to be with the woman just because they want to be with the woman. They don't care about it. They'll just say the right things so they can get in the pants. It's not to do with chemistry. So it's not always. That's what I'm trying to say, Dougie.
No.
There's
There has to be some kind of chemistry.
No.
Where do you live like? There has to be some kind of. They have to say something to get into get in bed with that
Becky,
person.
listen, you know what? When we talk about the actual concept of chemistry, it means that chemical goes with that chemical and it works. Yeah? It's an actual physical process. Now, when you're going to get with the woman, you're just playing with the woman together.
there's some
You're
kind
not
of chemistry.
using. You're not using. You're not. It's not. You know, listen, some men. Okay, Dougie. The pimp understands women, Dougie. You don't have to have chemistry. You just have to have understanding. Do you understand? You don't need to have oh, I've got chemistry with you. You just have to see you're vulnerable and I'm going to take advantage of you. That's all it is, Dougie. It's not to do with chemistry.
But use some kind of chemistry to get her though, innit?
But when you say
Yeah,
chemistry, what do you mean by
When
chemistry?
we're talking about chemistry, we're talking about you say some nice things to her.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily chemistry,
All right,
Dougie.
that's what we're talking about though.
That's recognised. That what I'm saying is that a pimp understands women. He doesn't need to use chemistry because when we're talking about chemistry, it's like me and you meet, Dougie. Me and you just get on as friends. That's chemistry as well. Me and Jammers get on. That's chemistry, just natural. We're not trying to get anything from each other. We're just trying to be friends. But a man who's trying to he's not using chemistry. He's just trying to take advantage of people. That's it. It's nothing to do with chemistry, Dougie.
No, the pimp is a good example, all right?
Definitely.
The pimp is a good example, all right? But if a pimp sees a woman, I said a vulnerable woman, right? He use some kind of subtle psychology to lure her in.
That's
yeah?
right, and he's purposely using psychology.
Yeah, using something. But yeah, say, hold on, man.
Go on.
So yeah, say certain his voice, the tone would be different for us. Example, he'd be more gentle with her.
That's right,
All right.
Dougie, that's
He even
right.
might buy her some gifts or.
He'll tell her she's the greatest thing, make her
see what
feel
I'm
good
saying?
about herself.
Ah.
But that's not chemistry. That's taking
Alright.
that's taking mental advice. You can see you're vulnerable. I'm just taking advantage
but
of
the
you.
point I'm trying to make
Go
here,
on.
right? He will use certain kind of romantic words.
You see what my man just said? Go on.
No.
Jammers.
No. Hold on. Before you come in, Jammers, because you're gonna take it all over the place. It doesn't make no sense. You know what I mean? You're taking over the place. It just, you know what I mean, right? So what I'm saying is this, right? That he will use words. He'll use some kind of
That's
romantic
right,
words.
Dougie.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? To lure her in.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what Supreme is bringing to the table, right? With Jammers now, right? What does he actually say with the woman? You know what I mean?
But this is what I'm saying, Dougie. That again, there's different ways to get. It's not just one way. You have to be Rome or do any of those things. Like the pimp is not using it's not chemistry, is it? There's no chemistry with the pimp. He's just taking advantage of people. Whilst, for example, if we're not trying to take advantage, we just genuinely like the person, then that's just natural chemistry. You don't have to try and do it. You're not trying to get anything around them. You just get on with the person. And that kind of naturally brings you together. That's what chemistry is. This chemical works with that. And when you put them together, they make a better chemical. So that's that. He's not trying to do that. He just wants to do something to her so that she can do something for him, and that's it.
All right, move the word chemistry, because
Right.
we're going to go around in a circle
Okay,
with
okay.
this word chemistry, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is that, I mean, he's going to use some kind of romantic words to lure her.
According to the psychology of the
All right,
woman,
you see what I'm
absolutely.
saying,
But
right?
it's not always romance, you know. You can just say, you know, like some man go, "Psst, yo, gal." That's not romantic, is it? But some gal will respond to that. Do you understand what I'm saying, Dougie?
We understand that, you know, and some people, they respond to that, right? But I mean, right, the point is, the argument is at the end of the day, right, that there's certain tone, there's certain words you're going to use, make someone feel good, feel nice for you to lure them in.
Absolutely, Dougie.
It's-
but it
it's-
depends on if the man, like if a pimp's not doing it because there's chemistry. He's doing it because I understand how you think, and I'm going to say the right words so I can, as my man saying, that love and it's an image, isn't it? It's a falsehood, Dougie. That's what Jammers is saying. No, it is, because if a pimp, a pimp's not doing it because a pimp's not doing it, Dougie. A pimp, not all on,
No, he
Dougie.
puts it out of context.
A pimp's not doing it because he wants a long-term relationship.
No. They put it out of context. Put it in the context. Because don't forget the argument, the reasoning, what Supreme put. See, you still haven't got that question yet. You know, the reasoning what Supreme said to
It's a Jammers.
to
Let Jammers
Jammers,
speak, man.
Right. How do you? What do you say to the sister when you're chilling out in the bedroom, or what? You know, what do you what do you do? What do you say? Or you don't say nothing at all? You know what I mean? You just, you know, it's, and that's what Supreme was bringing to the table. You know what I mean?
Right.
And don't forget. Jammers said that he don't believe in romance, don't believe in love, he don't believe in this and that and whatever. And yeah, and that's where we have a challenge, you know what I mean? You know?
Right. Well, basically, it's not words. It's about beyond words. And there's two things. There's a process, which is this romance thing, and there's genuinity. And women are attracted, especially the ones who've been abused and traumatized by romance and love, by someone who's intelligent, someone who's creative, someone who's forward thinking, someone who's honest, someone who's trustworthy. None of these are words. So all of these are essence of your character, which is beyond words and beyond the falsehood. Once you can show a woman that you are interested in the survival of the generation, you want to generate your species in a certain way, women are impressed by someone who is genuine. Over excess, wastage, fraud, foolish words, dead plants, stones, cards, and designer goods created by old European people. Thank you.
I mean, can I just say quickly that, you know, I agree with what Jammers has said, because there's, and I think you alluded to it earlier, Supreme. You said that within the first 5 or 10 minutes, a woman's checking if you're gonna be a good father, basically. That's what and you know that, King. So what my man's saying is on the button, man. You know, I agree with you totally, Bridge, and I think that that's.
No.
Go on,
No,
Dougie, I'm all ears. Go on.
the question Supreme asks, right? The question Supreme asks, right? What do you do? You see, when you're with somebody, and you know that is the question. We're not going to question anything else, right? What do you do? You know what I mean? You know, when you meet someone who you like or you fancy, and you're in a party or in a club or whatever, what do you know what I mean? What do you say? You talk about philosophy, you know what I mean? You have a classroom.
Exactly. I talk about philosophy, about my visions for the future, you know, where my mind's at, my intelligence, my creativity, humor, you know, visions for us as a people. And I think women are fed up of being fooled now by the, you know, the television and the big. They've had the big cars, the romance, the flowers, and it's end up with trauma, 5 kids and no baby father. You know, they've got children who are killing each other. So they've had this dream, and they've realised it's a fantasy made up by men to keep them fooled. So they're waking up to this now.
You still haven't answered the question.
Yeah, I did answer the question. Intelligence over romance, creativity over love and false
You
words.
haven't answered the question. But anyway, Supreme, do you want Supreme come in?
I just want to know, in the intimate, I'm trying to use a word that you're not going to break down and twist around and whatever. When you're intimate, what is going on? Because what I hear, as soon as you start talking, right, I just visualize a young lady knocking your door. You're not saying anything, and you go straight in the bedroom, and you got the Mike Tyson scenario where it's getting rough in here. That's all I may be wrong, but I'm just visualizing this kind of. It's not gonna sound. It's not gonna be nice in the room.
You're the one who's given me the title, the wordsmith. So if I'm going to wordsmith, I must be able to use the words to the right effect to get the rhythm in a mood of my intelligence, my creativity. I'll be using the words before any physical activity more than most. So basically, I'm the perfect host from coast to coast. So in a certain way, that's what I'm saying. My words hopefully will show my honesty, my creativity, my intuitiveness, and my vision for a future where somebody who's just coming with a dead plant, or some designer created by all European who's they say waste man. Women wake up. If you're saying a waste man, look at the man's what he's spending his money on you, and look what he's living in. So it's a falsehood. This romance created by Romans, as I said. Women now are wising up to this antic by men, romance antic, so it's the truthfulness is what will really bring a long-term relationship over spending big money on a dead plant.
Okay, then. So let's just put a scenario upon this, right? Sister knock on your door, and well, I'm making an assumption that she, I would say she looks nice, right? Would you say that she looks nice, and would you compliment her? I mean, or you just you see I'm going with this thing here. You don't say nothing. Well, don't you look nice and blah blah blah. Come in and give her a glass of wine or give her something. You know what I mean? Just to make you feel make you feel comfortable with you. Because all I'm getting from you is just talking in all kind of stuff, and doesn't really make sense. That's to me, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll just base it. Once a woman likes you, you don't really have to say anything afterwards. You can, and this is real example. You can meet a woman in a market, walking in a market, and next thing she's invited to drive you home. And it turns into visiting. And that's not with no nice word, no spending, no money, just because of the type of person you are or the character and vision that she sees in her head. A woman will make an assessment before. So basically, the women who move to you without you having to speak is the essence of your character.
Okay. You want?
Yeah, just quickly, Dougie.
Yeah.
And Supreme alluded to it earlier. Within the first 5-10 minutes, within the first 5 minutes, a woman's already made her mind up about you, Dougie. So, as my man says, you don't even have to say, "Oh, you look good." You just say intelligent things. When I first come to London, we used to do all that. Run up to, yo, baby, yo. And now I got corrected. You don't approach women like that. You say, excuse me. I learned from that, Dougie. So the next woman I approached, I said, excuse me, how you doing? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Do you understand what I'm saying, Dougie?
Hey, Bridget. I wonder if free said something too. I don't know what's going on. But if hold on. If a sister come by you, right? Come by you, and she looks Chris, like sister said, you wouldn't say that she look Chris and say nice things to her?
Yeah, you're saying nothing.
No, I'm asking Minty that question.
Okay.
Yeah.